Bibi's Lebanon breach appears to be backfiring as Hezbollah claims 9 fresh attacks. IDF comes under renewed Hezbollah fire as drones again target troops and northern Israel. As the Israel-Lebanon war keeps burning, Washington pushes peace talk optics amid ongoing fire. Hezbollah claimed it carried out 9 separate operations targeting Israeli troops on May 1st, according to reports on the latest cross-border fighting. Al Jazeera reported that Israeli forces were targeted both inside Lebanese territory and in northern Israel, underscoring the breadth of the day's attacks. Israel and Hezbollah continued trading fire despite a US-mediated ceasefire remaining formally in place, highlighting how fragile the truce has become. Amid the renewed attacks, the US Embassy in Beirut called for direct engagement between Israel and Lebanon as Washington tried to push a diplomatic track forward. US Embassy in Beirut said, and I quote, "Lebanon stands at a crossroads. Its people have a historic opportunity to reclaim their country and shape their future as a truly sovereign, independent nation. Direct engagement between Lebanon and Israel, 2 neighboring countries that should have never been at war, can mark the beginning of a national revival. The extended cessation of hostilities, achieved at the personal request of President Trump, has given Lebanon the space and the opportunity to put all of its legitimate demands on the table with the full attention of the United States government." A direct meeting between President Aoun and Prime Minister Netanyahu, facilitated by President Trump, would give Lebanon the chance to secure concrete guarantees on full sovereignty, territorial integrity, secure borders, humanitarian and reconstruction support, and the complete restoration of Lebanese state authority over every inch of its territory, guaranteed by the United States. This is Lebanon's moment to decide its own destiny, one which belongs to all its people. The United States is ready to stand with Lebanon as it seizes this opportunity with confidence and wisdom. The time for hesitation is over. Unquote. Lebanese Parliament Speaker Nabih Berri, a political ally of Hezbollah, responded coolly to the US proposal for talks. Berri said there was no reason to move forward with negotiations as long as Lebanon was still under fire, reflecting Beirut's demand for a real ceasefire before deeper diplomacy. After Hezbollah's attack claims, the Israeli army said it faced a fresh wave of drone attacks launched from Lebanon. The IDF said Hezbollah fired at least 4 drones toward northern Israel, according to reporting cited by the Times of Israel. The Israeli Air Force said it intercepted 2 drones amid sirens in the Galilee Panhandle and the Golan Heights. The Israeli military further claimed that those drones did not cross into Israeli territory before being shot down. Later, the IDF said 2 more suspected drones launched from Lebanon were also intercepted. The military added that it launched interceptor missiles following alerts warning of possible rocket fire in the Kiryat Shmona area. According to the IDF, the results of some interception attempts were still under review, and in at least one later incident no sirens were sounded. Several people were killed in southern Lebanon as Israeli raids hit multiple towns and villages, according to regional and Lebanese reporting. Al Jazeera reported that the death toll from an Israeli raid on Habash town had risen to 8. In the Nabih area, a child and 2 women were among those killed, according to Al Jazeera's reporting on the strikes. Lebanon's Ministry of Health said 21 people were also wounded, including 2 children and a woman. Additional Israeli attacks on Zaria in the Sidon district killed 4 people, according to Al Jazeera and related regional coverage. 1 person was also killed and 7 injured in an Israeli raid on Ain Ball in the Tyre area. The raids came amid an Israeli military force displacement order covering parts of southern Lebanon. Residents of several towns and villages in southern Lebanon were warned to flee northward as the escalation widened. Al Jazeera citing Israeli army said, and I quote, "The latest force displacement order covers Qaqaid al-Jizr, Adshid al-Shakif, Jebchit, Eba, Kfar Juz, Haruf, Al-Duwair, Deir Ez Zarani and Habush." Unquote. Despite a ceasefire on paper, Lebanon continues to suffer as the deeper scars of war, displacement, destroyed farms and lost income, quietly spread through the country. Since the April 17 truce, the front lines have calmed somewhat, but the humanitarian crisis has only worsened, with aid groups warning that needs are outpacing their ability to respond. A new UN-backed analysis warns that more than 1.24 million people in Lebanon now face a looming food crisis, as conflict and economic collapse collide. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, also known as IPC, says nearly a quarter of the assessed population may soon struggle to meet even their most basic food needs. Many families are expected to cope by cutting the quantity and quality of their meals, skipping food altogether, or resorting to harmful coping strategies just to get by. Experts say the slide into hunger is being driven by a toxic mix of renewed conflict, mass displacement, and relentless economic pressure after years of crisis. FAO's representative in Beirut, Nora Uraba Haddad, said, and I quote, "These results underscore the severity of the current situation in Lebanon, where conflict intersects with economic pressures putting national food security under critical risk and juncture." Unquote. Even before the latest war erupted in March, about 874,000 people in Lebanon were already living with acute food insecurity. That earlier figure represented roughly 17% of the population covered by the IPC analysis, a warning sign that the safety net was fraying long before the new fighting. Now, projections from April to August 2026 put 1.24 million people at crisis level or worse, showing how fast conditions have deteriorated. The rapid deterioration shows how quickly renewed war and mass displacement can shred what was left of Lebanon's fragile social safety nets. The April 17 ceasefire formally ended 6 brutal weeks of fighting in southern Lebanon, which pounded border villages and key infrastructure. Battles between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah reportedly killed more than 2,500 people, according to health and humanitarian officials. Over 1 million residents were forced to flee their homes amid bombardment and clashes, many crowding into makeshift shelters or relatives' apartments. However, Israeli forces continue operating near the border despite the formal truce, keeping southern communities on both sides in a state of constant uncertainty. On May 1, the IDF announced it had destroyed more than 40 Hezbollah-linked sites in southern Lebanon, including launch positions and observation posts. The army said those targets included command centers where Hezbollah fighters were allegedly planning fresh cross-border attacks. Israeli jets and artillery continue to strike positions the IDF links to rocket, missile and drone threats against northern Israel. Each new strike adds fresh damage to already battered roads, farms and power lines, making recovery in the south even harder. Hezbollah, for its part, continues to fire rockets and send attack drones at IDF positions in both northern Israel and inside Lebanon. The Israeli Air Force says its air defenses intercepted at least 4 Hezbollah drones on May 1 alone. One drone crossed into Israeli airspace, triggering sirens in the coastal community of Rosh Hanakra before being brought down. 3 additional drones were reportedly shot down over southern Lebanon before they could cross the borderline. An interceptor missile was also launched at a suspected drone near deployed troops, with the IDF saying an investigation is underway to confirm the outcome. Earlier the same morning, 2 Israeli soldiers were lightly wounded when an explosive-laden Hezbollah drone detonated near their position. The army says both soldiers were evacuated to hospital for treatment and that their families were notified promptly. Taken together, these exchanges underline how fragile and highly conditional the current ceasefire really is. As drones and missiles trade places overhead, Lebanon is bracing for a long, hungry summer in which the main battle may be for food, not territory.